How did the walls of Jericho come crumbling down? God gave the Israelites a strategy that they would have never conceptualized, even in their wildest dreams. March around the city for 7 days, then blow your trumpets and shout. I'm sure that Joshua and the Israelites would not have understood the strategy at all. They would have raised these questions in their minds. What is the point? What could be accomplished by simply walking around the city even without touching the wall? How could the combination of the noises of trumpet blast and shouting voices bring down the fortified wall of Jericho? It is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous strategy. Although their human mind could not understand the logic behind the strategy, they just obeyed to follow the instructions of Joshua and heeded to do this ridiculous strategy. We read in the book of Joshua that when the trumpet sounded and the people shouted, the walls collapsed, so every man charged straight in and they took the city. Joshua 6:20. What lesson of faith can we learn from this incident? We need to learn to trust God's ways even when we do not understand them. One of God's ways is prayer. A lot of times we do not fully understand the power and necessity of prayer. We want to charge right into the situation when God wants us to take our time and pray. Sometimes, when you are praying for God to remove a certain obstacle in your life, you can feel just like the Israelites, like you're walking around in circles, getting nowhere. Yet, be persistent, believing that prayer is God's appointed way to remove the obstacle in your life. Because God chooses to work in your life through faith. It took faith to walk around the city of Jericho amidst all the jeering and reproaches of people watching them within the fortified city. It takes faith to trust God's way even when you don't understand his ways. Yes, God promised to remove the walls of Jericho, but when they had to wait for God's appointed time, they had to march around for 7 days. What if they had given up after 5 days or even after six? They would have never have seen God's deliverance. So if you're waiting on God's deliverance, be patient. Continue in faith, continue in prayer, commit yourself to your faithful Creator and continue to do good. 1 Peter 4:19. Obstacles come in all shapes and sizes. Some are physical in nature, others are spiritual, others are relational, others are financial. I don't know what obstacles you're facing in your life right now. Whatever it may be, don't be discouraged and don't give up hope. God can remove any obstacle, no matter how big it may seem to you. Trust in God's ways, even when you do not understand them. Wait for God's appointed time. Surely, just as the Israelites trusted in the ridiculous strategy without comprehending, continue to hope and walk in faith and pray and see the deliverance what God has planned for you. Be blessed.